Hey, this is Catherine Trotter, aka CT Speaks. Listen, we're back for another edition of The Shift, right? So we're shifting into gear, we're shifting into our possibilities, we're shifting into the next phase of our life. Specifically tonight, we're going to be talking about how it is possible for you. So this whole podcast series is called The Shift because we're shifting higher. We're shifting out from somewhere into something, right? Out of the old and into the new. But specifically tonight, we're talking about how it is possible for you. You know, sometimes we hit intersections of our life and phases of our life, and sometimes we second guess are the possibilities that we envision for ourselves. Can it be real? Can it manifest into the now? And I'm here to tell you that yes, it can. It is possible for you. But in order for it to be possible, in order for us to manifest those things, we must shift our perspective, right? When we think about the word perspective, it is our attitude towards something, right? It is considered a point of view. So what is your point of view regarding the possibility for your life? What is your point of view regarding the mission and the purpose that's designed specifically for you? What attitude do you take when you hit bumps in the road and when you come against mountains and when you come against challenges? What type of attitude do you take when you face those intersections of the unknown? Sometimes as we're pursuing our possibilities, we also have to shift not only our perspective, but we have to shift our focus, right? When we think of the word focus, it means to have a clear visual definition of something. What is that visual picture in your mind about the possibility you have for yourself for 2024? You must produce clear vision in order to have clear action steps to make it turn into a reality. So if we're talking about making things possible, we have to first, shift our perspective. And two, we have to shift our focus, right? When we talk about shifting our focus, we also have to keep in mind that we must remove any distractions that will steer us away from walking into our purpose. Our purpose, that thing that is specifically designed for us to accomplish in our life. Some of you may have listened in the past to a podcast show that I did, Good Morning to the Leader in You. And so I say that to you even now, good morning to the leader that's on the inside of you that is still to yet awaken itself to the next chapter in your life, to the next chapter of your leadership capacity. I want everyone to stand tall and continue to build. We know we're in the fourth quarter of the year, and sometimes in the fourth quarter, we start to analyze what worked well, what didn't work well in this year. What did I accomplish? What did I not accomplish? We start having a reflective mindset. We start to reflect on the things the previous 9 months of the year. I want to tell you, no matter if it was good, bad, challenging, or indifferent, understand that the purpose that's ahead for you in 2024 will not be aborted by what happened the first 9 months of this year. The possibility for you to grow, the possibility for you to expand, the possibility for your business to go to another level, the possibility for you to birth that book, the possibility for you to flow into your speaking platform, the possibility are endless. There's endless possibilities, endless possibilities. Stop putting a border around the possibility for your life. Will there be moments of difficulty? Absolutely, yes. But I want to remind you that you was not built to break. That is a common saying that we all have heard probably many, many times, that we were not built to break. And I want to remind you of that. You was not built to break. But I need you to say that to yourself. I am not built to break. I don't care what the challenges, the situations that may try to knock me down. I was not meant to break. There's a couple of quotes that I want to share. One is by John C. Maxwell. It says, how committed are you to the process? Listen, in order for us to get onto the other side of our possibility, the other side of the vision that we see in our head, but it may not be manifested yet, in order for us to get on the other side of that, we got to ask ourselves the question that John C. Maxwell put out there is, how committed are you to the process? Listen, there is a process to walk into a state of manifesting the possibilities. And if you're not ready to go through the process of when people they say they're going to be committed to you and they may ghost you. The people that say they was going to be there and they know where to be found. Guess what? That is a part of the process. I've been there. We all have been there. Anybody that's tried to start a business or organization of any capacity, we know what that feels like. But we cannot forget why we even started. And that's why people say you got to remember your why. What is your why? Why did you start? Because it don't matter if you left standing there by yourself. You got to stay committed to the process. You got to stay committed to the why. You got to stay committed to you. A quote by Dr. Eric Thomas says, put an expiration date to it. Sometimes we just floating through life, never hitting goals, never maximizing our possibilities. Dr. Cindy Trim she speaks on that all the time, maximizing your possibility. But a lot of times we can't even maximize our possibility because we ain't put an expiration date to when we want to hit that possibility. I need you to put a date to it tonight. Tonight, October 10th, put a date to your possibility. Some may not want to do that because say, what if I don't hit that date? What if something aborts it prematurely and I don't even make it to that date? Don't allow your mind to think the negative. Put a date to it. That thing that you say you've been wanting to manifest, that thing that you say you've been needed to birth, that thing that you said you've been wanting to do for years, put a date to it and watch it manifest. Dr. Cindy Trim, I love her. She has another quote that says, burn the boat. There is no plan B. Burn the boat. Sometimes we don't walk into our state of fullness of our possibilities is because we not focusing on A. We got B in the cut, right? Well, if this A don't work out, I got something in the cut that I can fall back on, and we lopsided. We got one foot in one area, we got another foot in another area. We need both feet going in one direction. That's why a lot of times the boat ain't going nowhere. We ain't moving nowhere. Again, the quote says, burn the boat. There is no plan B. If you know you were called for a particular thing, then do that thing. Don't be focusing on plan B. Don't be focusing on the naysayers that say you ain't got the resources, you ain't got the stamina, you ain't got the energy, you ain't got the know-how, you ain't got the knowledge. Burn the boat. If the boat are the naysayers, burn the boat. If the boat is negative mindset, burn the boat. Whatever is in your way of getting to where you need to be, you need to burn the boat. You need to burn it tonight. And you got to put an expiration date to it. And then you got to tell yourself, I'm going to be committed to the process if I'm the only one standing. When we talk about the shift, we're talking about moving from one place to another place. And when we talk about it is possible for you, only you can fill in the blank of what that possibility is that you see for yourself. But another thing, when we talk about shifting is an action word. It deals with motion, right? So a question you have to ask yourself, a question I have to ask myself is, what is my frequency in the state that I am in building my business, in building my nonprofit organization, in building my capacity? What is my frequency? When I looked up the word frequency, it said the rate at which something occurs or is repeated over for a particular time period. What is your frequency? What are you repeating over and over again that it becomes habitual at this point? What is your frequency? What are you dialed into? A lot of times we're not hitting our possibilities and we're not shifting from one gear to the next. Think about when you were driving a car and you got to put that car into drive. If you never take it out of park, that car ain't going nowhere. Some of us are still in park position. We're still in park position. If we want to get out of park position, we got to be in tune with who we are and where we are and what frequency are we at. Again, frequency means the rate at which something occurs or is repeated over and over again. What are your daily habits that you're repeating over and over again? That's your frequency. What do you do on a daily basis? What does your daily habits look like? That is your frequency. When I also looked up the word frequency, and I thought this was interesting, it said frequency means the number of waves that pass a fixed point in a unit time. And so I thought to myself, it says frequency is a number of waves that is passing a fixed point. When we think about ourselves as an individual, as a mover, as a shaker, as a leader, we're a wave passing through a point in time in our life. We're a wave passing through a point in time in somebody else's life. And the question is, what is our frequency as we're flowing through that particular point in time? What type of deposit are we making in other people's lives? You know, sometimes people say, my business isn't growing, my business is struggling. Well, what deposits are you making? What type of waves are you bringing to the table to a particular point in time that people are like, oh my gosh, I have got to get with this person. I need their product. I need their services. I need to be in their atmosphere because they have a certain type of frequency that I need to dial into. Whatever your frequency is that you're bringing to the table, that is equated to your value. Now, I believe each and every one of you have value. All of us has value, but sometimes we're playing ourselves too short. We're underbidding ourselves so many times because we're not tapped into who we truly are, because our daily habits is messing with the frequency. Our daily habits is messing with our flow, our waves. You think about water, a body of water. It flows. It don't matter what's around it. It could be rocks. It could be whatever. It's going to move irregardless. We got to be like a wave that moves irregardless, passing through fixed points and times in our life. We're passing through. Now, when we think about repetition, again, frequency talked about is something that happens over a repeated period of time. So when we look up the word repetition, it says it is a particular thing that you're dialed into, that your core audience is drawn to. But you got to be dialed into yourself. You got to know who you are. In other words, your rep becomes your frequency. Your reputation becomes your frequency. And based on your rep and your frequency will dictate how fast and how big, how wide your business is going to grow. It all goes back to your daily habits. So when we talk about the shift, we need to shift in our daily habits. Now, when we think about the law of attraction, it's all connected. When we talk about shifting and we talk about tapping into our possibilities, the law of attraction talks about the action or power of invoking interest, right? So do you have the capability to invoke something into being, to evoke it into the now? When we look at the word evoke, it means to recall to consciousness of the mind. It means to summon. It means to call forth. I speak life over every single entrepreneur. I speak life over every parent. I speak life over every community organization that's represented. We are individuals that's called to evoke something, to recall to consciousness, to summon, to call forth. What are you calling forth? When we talk about shifting, this whole podcast show is talking about shifting, the shift. When we shift something, we call forth something, right? And when we call forth something, there's some synonyms to evoke. It means to inspire. It means to raise. It means to reveal. What are you inspiring? Who are you inspiring? What are you raising up from the dead? Sometimes there's dead things in our life and it's just dead. It's dead. And you got to know, is that an area that needs to be resurrected, or is that an area that you need to just completely move away from so you can shift into the next atmosphere of your life, the next dimension of your life, right? The word evoke also means to reveal. Sometimes we won't even really know the next step we're supposed to go into until we get quiet unto ourselves. Sometimes it's too much motion going on. It's too much motion going on. Therefore, we're not in tune to our own frequency. If we're not in tune to our own frequency, we will not have a revelation of truly what it is we're supposed to be doing. Don't knock being quiet by yourself. Don't knock those quiet moments. You don't always need somebody around you. You need those quiet moments to really get in tune with who you are so you can grow to the next level. When we look at the word evoke, it also talks about a force acting between two particular matters, right? So when we talk about evoke also brings things together. Right? It can bring things together or it can separate something. So you need to understand the posture that you're in your life right now. What posture do you have for your life? Your posture is also equated to your frequency. When you walk into a room, what type of posture do you have? Because whatever your posture is, it's going to emit a certain frequency as you enter into the room. So I speak life that your posture is going to be powerful. I speak that your posture is going to illuminate the room. I speak that your posture is not going to walk in the room of doubt or fear or second guessing yourself. That will no longer be your posture. But your posture moving forward will be of confidence. The energy, the frequency that you're going to give off is going to be of singleness of mind, no longer double-minded, not knowing which way you want to go. You don't know if you're going to go left. You don't know if you're going to go right. You're not really sure what you're going to do. No.